You know, this season we teamed up with Pro Football Hall of Famer Walter Jones and his brand, Best to Ever Do It, and we're recognizing our best guys in the trenches. Tonight was the culmination of all that hard work. Kayla Carlisle shows us how these young men were honored in a special way.
Tonight's banquet was all about recognizing these players one last time, one by one. Each player was recognized by the original Best to Ever Do It player, Walter Jones. To Walter Jones, your past struggles don't define your present. Tonight, the NFL Hall of Famer was able to talk to these young men about his time in the game and how his life changed since he was in their shoes.
I was trying to figure out how to get $5 or get $1, so I didn't understand that until I got $1 million, so now I understand. For me personally, I just want these kids to try to find something that they believe in, and that could be picking up trash off the side of the road or whatever they believe in, what they feel like they're giving back. So it's just a time to tell these guys to always give back.
Each player was given a B2 EDI backpack stuffed with all kinds of apparel and goodies to help represent Jones's brand, Best to Ever Do It. And for Jones, these young men do exactly that. He says their involvement in bettering themselves and their communities makes him the most proud.
Makes me proud. It kind of shows that they're leaders, and I think they learned that from football. So you learn a lot of stuff from football. You have to be counted on. You have to be accountable. I think that's what the football teaches me, to be accountable. Your word is the most important thing you have, no matter how much money you have or how much money you don't have. Your word is what people believe in. If you tell them you're going to do something, you do it.
And now this group of young men will continue to better themselves and their communities later this week when they volunteer at the House of Harvest. In Huntsville, I'm Kayla Carlisle, WZDX Sports.
All right, that does for sports. Stay with us. More news after the break.